we are going to provide some background. We are going to run through a lot of information today. And I'm going to just apologize at the outset. There is a lot of really dense information here, but we really wanted to provide a baseline, a background, and also by recording this meeting, we wanted to provide you all a reference to be able to reference back to this meeting in the future and to have this information out there. So both the slides from today and the recording of today's meeting will be available on ADWR's website. So we'll provide some information about the hydrology. Ryan will talk about that in a few minutes here. And then I'll provide an overview of what is an AMA and what you can expect in the kind of establishment process of the Douglas AMA. And then toward the end, we'll finally get to a discussion of the management goal. And we'll provide a little bit of a format and some guidelines for what we might look for in suggestions related to the management goal. There we go. I also want to start with a little bit of a disclaimer. And we gave this its own slide because it is ultimately important. There's a lot of information today, but ultimately this meeting is intended to be informational. We want you all to be able to provide a chance to learn and also have some input in this process. But we also have to say that the information that we present here is not comprehensive and it's not intended to be legal advice. So we really recommend that you consult with an attorney if you have specific legal questions for your circumstances. We do have time set aside at the end of the meeting for discussion, and we hope to allow ample time for that at the end of the meeting. Again, this is time intended for input from all of you. Time to ask questions, time to get clarifications, and also for us to begin hearing from all of you about the management goal. We are limited on time, so we do ask that you limit your comments to the topic at hand. And if you choose to speak at this time, please try to limit yourselves to maybe 1 or 2 questions just so that we can allow everybody who wants to a chance to speak. In addition to what we have in the presentation today, we also have just an enormous amount of information available on our website. I'm not going to necessarily go through each of these links in the interest of time, but these links will be available when this presentation is posted online. And I would really encourage you all to check out those web pages. We do recognize that there is still some uncertainty here. Hopefully today's presentation will answer some of your questions, but in some cases there's still going to be some uncertainty in terms of how all these details are playing out. This is the beginning to conversations here, and we expect that these discussions are going to continue over time. This is the first active management area that has been established since 1980. This is the first subsequent AMA. It's the first subsequent AMA that's been established, and so it's the first time a lot of these laws have really been put into practice. So we're not going to try to speculate where there's uncertainty. We're going to try to make sure that we provide you information where we know the specific answers to that information, just to make sure that we're providing you accurate information. So we will be explaining what we do know in today's meeting. But also, I'll point this out a few times throughout the presentation today. Please just carefully note when we are speaking about initial AMAs or existing AMAs as compared to the statutory requirements for subsequent AMAs. And I'll do my best to point this out throughout the presentation, but there are some small differences that are going to be important as we go through the establishment process.